So, for example, if you offer one tiny flower or one grain of rice, just example, one grain of rice, just one tiny one grain of rice, to the picture of Buddha or statue of Buddha or stupa or sculpture, picture or picture or the actual statues or stupas, sculptures. So number of big, number of small. By offering, so this is all, I'm talking here just offering a picture or statue. Number of small, number of big, that's statues, stupas, sculptures. So I'm not talking about the actual Buddha. So you see, one tiny grain or tiny flower, so offer number of small, number of big, this statue or script, picture of Buddha, the stupa. So first what happens is it purifies negative karma, which causes to be reborn in the lower realm. It purifies that. And it causes to be reborn in the higher, the border of in the realm of the border of the happy transmigratory being. In the realm of the happy transmigratory being. So there were human beings, so that first thing. And second, you should remember, but may not think the second one. Most people probably. So second, it causes to collect happiness from beginningless rebirth up to now what you experienced. Happiness in samsara from beginningless rebirth up to now, that much to be experienced in the future. You understand? Have to keep your mind. Even just one grain of rice, one tiny flower, or to offer, what you offered. So second that, what happiness in samsara, what you already experienced from beginningless birth up to now, that much to be experienced in the future. Cause. You understand? Then third, to be free from samsara and to achieve the ultimate happiness, blissful state of peace, blissful state of peace, the ultimate happiness. Forever, not just a few days, few lifetimes, not that. Forever. Then after that, then causes ultimate happiness, the peerless happiness. Total cessation of obscuration, completion of all the realizations. Sangye. On that. Mystery to that. you concentrate with that. Then you free numberless sentient beings from the oceans of samsaric suffering. The numberless sentient beings free them from the oceans of samsaric sufferings. Oh, can you imagine? Ba, 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 ba. Can you imagine? Amazing, amazing. So every sentient being, numberless sentient being, free them from the oceans of samsara suffering. Oceans of 6 realms suffering, all that. Understand? Then, not only that, not finished. After that, you bring every sentient being, numberless sentient beings, everyone to the peerless happiness, to the Buddhahood, the total cessation of obscurations and the completion of all the realizations. You bring everyone there. Understand? When you brought every sentient beings in that Buddhahood, then the merits what you collected by offering the picture of Buddha, a small statue, or the small grain, one grain rice, or tiny flower, what they offered. All that time, then you completed the merit. All at that time, all the merit, what all you collected, now that time, then completed. You understand? You have to get the idea in your mind and in your heart. Should understand. Okay. Kature. So that is wow, amazing. Beyond our concept and imagination there, you see the merits, how much merit you collect. You see, all of that, you see. Only one numberless sentient being you brought by you to the full enlightenment, or then the peerless happiness, that's happened, or all the merits what you collected, or the offering one tiny flower or one single rice, or them completed only that time, but it was not completed. Amazing. So that's why the holy objects, no matter how tiny, they're like picture of Buddha, one small photo, there are thousands of the merit fields. Do you understand? In the one picture, one small picture, there are thousands of them. Understand? So, can you imagine the making offering? Even that much offering, just 1 gram, all that. Can you imagine now? Therefore, the number of small number, how big, so precious. So this unbelievable precious, this whole objects, statues or pictures, so precious, unbelievable precious. Unbelievable precious. So to have see is a priceless. If you understand the value or the benefits, even on tiny flour or 1 gram rice, so this value is priceless. How small the picture of Buddha or the statue stupa or so in the house. So in the house, then to have as many as possible, maybe extra bathroom, maybe fill up with the smells, fill up with the not scented smell, fill up with scented smell, not that. So maybe that's not respectful, but otherwise, you see, outside, inside, as many as possible. So, yes. There are 80 the ex-monks from Kapon and nuns, totally 2 years ago, there were 80 in New York, 80 times, 80 ex-monks and nuns together, just from Kapon monastery, 80 of them, though, who achieved arahatship, who achieved arahatship, So New York, just New York, that's 80. So so this past years in New York has a I say picnic. We go for picnic. But our first picnic went for picnic, put tent, and they didn't get much chance to go in the ocean or to play. And so I did loom. It's called picnic, but I did loom, not room. Maybe some call room, but I did loom, the old transmission, Ayasanga Sudra, so that they collect most unbelievable merit. What merit? I mean, just unbelievable. I think like the St. River Ganga, that many Buddha 12 times merit collect or something like that. Something like that, huge, unbelievable. So I thought that it might help to their life to find job and so forth, or the, easy life. So I mean, up to enlargement. So I did loom most of the time, so didn't get much time to play or in the ocean, things like that. There was, I don't know how many were there. So second time to picnic, but they had time to do things, to go in the water, play, whatever. So also, I think the first time brought tangas to put it in the tent. for them to collect merit by saying. At the same time, also I brought from Nan Yangchen's house, has a beautiful Tara and then Tara and and then the three tangas were brought in the no, I think generally nobody brings tanga at the beach. Probably people might think, oh, I like so much, the traditional, to have tangas in the tent and, like so much, maybe liberalized sickness, sort of like, maybe possible they may think like that, but I was going to explain how precious they are. And how incredible! I'm not going to explain now the benefit by seeing. I mean, you have heard in the past sometimes, so I'm not going to do that on today. So the Katsure, what was become, never. I mean, what change my time just in that. So, so in the offering, you see. I mean, so just sing. Married, so kind of rough idea, the number of the dust of this earth. I mean, what kind of the rough idea. Anyway, so to explain them, so the ex-monk nuns to see. Then there are other people also. There are other people as well. So tangas were, three tangas were brought, but I didn't have time. So then I met individual people, talked about their health and the consultation, their health and things. So at lunch, and then after that. Then it's time to talk. First, I meet the people and those who need, and so at lunch. And then after, then I think maybe after some time, then get talk. But quite few children. They have quite few children. So then I thought. To speak how to take care of children, as a Buddhist, how to take care of children. So I think it was important. Such an unbelievable precious life and precious opportunity to collect merit as a Buddhist, and wow, unbelievable. But then you don't know. So you waste whole life, whole opportunity you have, you lose. So I was talking to take care of children. So my emphasis is that, of course, because the basic things you see that to take care of children, I mean to. Of course, impossible before you make the children, you have a right motivation. Before, I mean, like that is possible. It's possible to make the child's life to be most beneficial in the world for the sentient beings and things like that. So, anyway, so as a Buddhist, there were other things, of course, good heart. General thing, good heart as much as possible. To not harm others, to respect, to be kind to others. Those general things. But the most important thing, that doesn't depend on Buddhist, it doesn't depend on being taking refuge with Dhamma Sangha, it doesn't depend on that. that thing. So anyway, so as a Buddhist, then the children they in the morning they at least the Sangye Chodan chant and maybe some meditation or just chanting, nicely chanting, and offering music to the Buddha. Not just playing, not just playing for kind of pleasure, not like that. You see, and mind making offering, something like that. Prostrations or things is just, and even it depends on the age, but also it is. So the message is that in the morning before they go to school, make sure they may offering candies or biscuit or something to the Buddha in the front row. They would have statues. Picture Buddhas in the front of that, not just living there, but offering to Buddha. Or is that Shiva, the thought, not just living, not just dropping there, it's not that. Then they don't get benefit. And they offering Buddha, the must thing. Candy, biscuit, whatever, I see in the morning the children offer, then if possible, it's on night time. Nighttime also when they come back home, even people go in bed, whatever, to make offering. See, now you know. You see why I emphasize this. I've explained before. Did you understand? Oh, so all the children, see, just, so they married. Can you imagine? Married. How much they get each morning, each evening, they can do 3 times or 2 times, at least 2 times every day, like that. Then you take from the altar and take it as a blessing to the people or to the children, as a blessing to their mind, purify their mind and. To receive realization, so they can take it to develop the mind. So anyway, every day to do that. So then they collect unbelievable, most unbelievable merits each time. So parents don't have to worry about their health and their education. There are so many things about a child. So many years, their whole life, they worry about a child and the parents, and so much. So don't have to do that, about the children's means of living and all that, future, all that problem. So they don't have to worry about that. The children, every day they collect unbelievable, most unbelievable merit. So therefore, they can continue their life with great success, happiness, so much happiness. There's so much happiness, this life, future life, then go to enlightenment. So much. So parents don't have to worry about child. You see all the time, So child, they so much merit they collect, they take care of their life by themselves. So you don't have to worry his whole life or so many years. You don't have to do that. So what about then they themselves, or then they bring their life to. Bring themselves to enlightenment. Wow, like that, see. But so there are things like that. See. Anyway, according to the age, then you can teach that many. So there are a few things like that when they're small, and Yeah, how you are in offerings, food offerings, so forth. And go to start. It's like that gradual developer. So anyway, I was emphasizing them. Just in the Buddhist and then the Catholic. What that unbelievable opportunity, unbelievable, so precious, unbelievable opportunity. Being human being at this time can help each other. Wow. So then you see, you use the children like outside people, just no dharma, just wildlife and with this language, with this writing. I mean, this is all the common education school, and then. We say like that kind of wildlife. Children grow. They don't know how to bring children. You make children, then children bring. You see, you bring them with wildlife. They're like the animal in the forest. You see, so it's very sad being Buddhist, and you don't do all these things. Very sad. Very, very sad life. So you lose all this incredible opportunity you have to help yourself, to children. So anyway, I was emphasizing them. So then I was talking about universal education. From talk went through that, I was introducing them. So they didn't have time to explain the Tanga, how precious the whole object. So then with had to go to New York to receive Lung of the different Lama's teachings from Jongla Rinpoche, Jongla Rinpoche, who lives in New Jersey. So then another picnic, same place, and they put tent, and they put the name of the ex-government monks, nuns. They made a name for themselves. You see, they put it in the tent, and suddenly I have the Tangas. Then, as soon as I arrived, I explained to them how precious this whole object is. So anyway, I put that in. When other people running up and down, they will call it unbelievable merit just by seeing. So anyway, so all that. I explained to him. Then I think I gave the room of calling Guru from far, I think, to the people, I gave the room Dhamma Kalsu that are not finished. Then we had lunch, and then they dance, the ex-nuns and the Muslim ex-nuns, they dance. And